and I would like to hand over to Jimmy Khan. And in case if you all have any questions anywhere in between, or just raise your hands and stop us and we'll take it from there on. Thank you very much. Jai Baba. All yours, Jimmy.
Delna has a question. 1 minute. Delna.
Okay. Where's Delna?
No question. We'll talk later. I was wanting to share something, but later we can share.
Go ahead and share it. Go ahead and share it.
Yeah, she can do it.
No, later. I'll just come back in 5 minutes. I'll share later. Towards the end.
Bloody chicken. Chal. Okay, Jimmy. Come
okay. Jai Baba, before I start on the subject, there are two things that most of you may not know. One is that in the initial years, Baba had given an option whether to observe silence for 24 hours or to fast. The fasting was from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. And in those days, those who worked, those who were going to their offices, etc., colleges, whatever, they would prefer to fast for 12 hours, but they would speak. But after a number of years, Baba said, no, only silence. So everybody universally observes silence. And the silence is to be observed wherever you are geographically. It doesn't have to sink in with the Indian timing. So if you're in the US, you follow US time. If you're in Japan, you follow Japan time, etc. The other interesting thing is that Baba was to observe silence around the 7th of July, 1925. Earlier, it wasn't planned to start on the 10th. What happened was, in 1925, around 5th or 6th, Baba's cousin Naja, who was with Baba as a mandli, she fell sick. And Baba was tending to her. Baba was looking after Naja. So he postponed his silence from the 7th or maybe the 8th to the 10th. So that is how Baba's silence started on the 10th, not on the 7th. Now let's go to the subject. We are talking about two things today. One is this God Speaks. This is Baba's book dictated by Meher Baba. And this is my mother, Khurshid Khan. So we'll talk about both. Now, before we go to God Speaks and before we go into the plains and my mother, it's necessary that you understand my mother. So I'll have to take you back into history and tell you the beginning as to how it all started. In the late 50s, our father expired. He was in hospital for 7 days and he just went away like light. When father died, mom was only 40 years. And the three of us, her three children, Dinah, myself, and Betsy, we were not even teenagers. We were that young. So you got to imagine this woman who suddenly becomes widow at the age of 40. She has to look after her three children. She has no bearings in life. She is lost. She doesn't know where to look in life. So at that point in time, Hosang Patel, who was a family friend of ours, rather my mother and my mama's, and who was our Sam Patel's kaka, Hosang Patel tells my mother that, Khurshid, you come to Goregaon, you come to Kamu Baba's ashram, you meet Kamu Baba. He's a genuine saint and he will help you spiritually. Now our parents, and we were not orthodox. We never read from Avesta. We just did Kasti at the most, that's it. So we were not very orthodox. So my mother had nothing to lose meeting this Kamu Baba. But before I come to Kamu Baba, let me explain the status of Kamu Baba. And Roshan Kerawala, who was very close to Baba, Roshan told me this story that Roshan was a Sattha earlier. Originally, she was from Ahmednagar. After marriage, she came to Pune. And in between, for 1 year, she was in Mumbai. She was doing some embroidery stitching course at Mumbai. So she was a kind of a go-between Meher Baba and Kamu Baba. Meher Baba would send his messages, salutations to Kamu Baba through Roshan, and vice versa. Kamu Baba would send his salutations, his greetings to Meher Baba. So the point I'm trying to make is Kamu Baba has to have certain spiritual status for Meher Baba to exchange greetings, etc. So that is very relevant. So Hossein uncle says, Khorshid, come to Kamu Baba, he will help you emotionally, spiritually, etc. So mom said, okay, I'll come. So we'll fast forward one Sunday morning, we go to Goregaon. Goregaon is and was where Kamu Baba's ashram was. His samadhi is still at the ashram, he's no more. And I'm told to understand that Kamu Baba was married to a Parsi. And because of that, Kamu Baba was very fluent with Gujarati, the Parsi Gujarati, as we speak. So we are there in the queue, we are waiting, we are pushing forward, and our turn comes, and Hossein Patel introduces Kamu Baba to my mother, and Hossein meets Kamu Baba first, and it's the turn of my mother to meet. So Kamu Baba is asking mom, Beta tane sujo is. He's asking my mom, Beta tane sujo is. There's one thing we need to understand, that you and I cannot ask anyone tane sujo is. You got to have certain standing, certain spiritual authority to ask someone tane sujo is. So this is very relevant. So my mom says, Baba mane antarnu gnan apo. Show me divine light. Give me inner knowledge. Now, try and imagine there's this widow who's 40 years old, behind her 3 children who are not even teenagers. And instead of asking, Baba, give me money, give me help, look after my children, instead of asking that, she's asking, Baba, show me inner light, give me inner knowledge, inner light. Now, what does it prove? It proves one thing, that our mother had reached a certain spiritual level wherein she didn't think of asking Kamu Baba for any worldly things, any materialistic things. She asked Baba for divine light. And Kamu Baba, he knows, he knew. He is asking my mom to bend down. My mom bends down, and Kamu Baba runs his thumb on my mother's. He does this. He does this to my mother. This is your chakra. This is your third eye. Now, you and I, we cannot do this. Even in a jest, in a lighter vein, at least I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it to any human being. Well, if I am an actor, if I have to do it on a stage, I might do it just for the purpose of acting. But if someone in a lighter vein asks me to do this, I will never ever do it. I will not play around. Let's use the term play around. I will never ever play around. And Kamu Baba had this divine authority. He had this divine status, which gave him that authority to do this. And he opened my mother's third eye. So this background is very necessary. So now what happened was, when Kamu Baba did this, we came back to our lives, and my mom started meditating. she started meditating. She would close her eyes. She would close her eyes and she would meditate. Now, in comes Rhoda Mistry. Rhoda Mistry was Jim Mistry's wife. Rhoda Mistry was Arnavas Dada Chanji's sister. She was a Dada Chanji. And most of you know that all the Dada Chanjis, the siblings, the brothers and sisters, they were born Baba lovers. They were born in Baba family. All of them, including starting from Arnavas downwards, they were born in Baba's family. So they knew everything about Meher Baba. So Rhoda comes into our life. Rhoda was already my mother's friend because my mother came from Dada Parsi colony. So they knew. Rhoda also was from Dada Parsi colony. So they knew each other, but after marriage, well, life parted. My mother came to Tardeo. Rhoda got married to Jim Mistry, etc. But when times befell on my mother, Rhoda Mistry comes back to our lives, and Rhoda tells mom, she would come to our house. We were staying at Tardeo in those days. So Rhoda said twice a week or thrice a week, she would come to our house from 2 in the afternoon till 6 at night, 6 in the evening, and she would non-stop talk about Meher Baba. I was around, so I know about it. And she would bring Baba's photographs. She would bring Baba's booklets, leaflets. If the books were in Gujarati, mom would read because she knew Gujarati only. If the books were in English, myself or Dinah or Betsy, we would read and we would translate into Gujarati. So that is how she came to know more and more about Meher Baba. So effectively, she had seen Meher Baba's photographs. So whilst meditating, mom's eyes would be closed and she would see Meher Baba in front of her. And she told me once that she had seen Baba as small as a matchbox and as large as a skyscraper. This is what exactly, these were her words. She saw Baba as small as a matchbox and as large as a skyscraper. To put it in other words, this is what Lord Krishna showed to Arjun. Arjun refused to pick up arms, so Lord Krishna had to show his Virat Swarup. So after saying Virat Swarup, Arjun took up arms. So similarly, Baba showed his Virat Swarup to mom. This is much before we came to Meher Baba. So effectively what I'm trying to say is that mom had reached this level of spiritual understanding, spiritual level. So this is what it was before we met Meher Baba in person. Now let's come to God Speaks, and we just about God Speaks with moms. And this is given in part 5, page 40 onwards. Now we come to plane first, the first plane of consciousness. But before we do that, let me explain to you that this is called involution. First comes evolution, then process of lives and deaths, and then we come to involution. Involution is when you reach a certain stage in life after reincarnation, after you become a very, very good soul or an old soul, you reach a point where you touch on involution. Involution is going within you. Now, involution is split into 3 parts. One is the gross consciousness, the subtle consciousness, and the mental consciousness. So don't get disturbed with these planes of consciousness. Will come gradually. On the first plane, what happens is, in the first plane, it is a threshold between the gross consciousness and the subtle consciousness. Why threshold between gross and subtle is what you experience is with your gross body. Therefore, it is the threshold between the gross and the subtle. You experience with your body in the sense you experience with your senses. In Hindi, we call indres, your nose, your ears, your eyes, your mouth, etc. So you experience with your grossness. Do not misunderstand gross consciousness with gross body. Gross body is different. Gross body remains with you till the sixth plane, and sometimes even with on the seventh plane. Mostly you drop your body on the seventh plane, but sometimes you keep your body on the seventh plane. So then don't misunderstand gross body is gross plane. So let's go back to the first plane. It is the threshold between your gross plane and the subtle plane. In the sense, now let me go to my mom and let me explain to you what she felt and what she did. Our mother would close her eyes and she started meditating, etc. I did tell you. But suddenly she felt that there was some fragrance in the house, something like dhoop, something like loban sukhar, something like agarbatti. So maybe she thought there were no flowers at home, there was no agarbatti at home, there was no dhoop chap, there was no sukhar loban at home, dhoop at home. She thought maybe the neighbors are doing it, someone else is doing it. We lived on the third floor. So she thought the neighbors are doing it and she's smelling fragrance, like very strong, powerful fragrance, like chameli, etc. And she didn't take a notice of it. Then she started hearing celestial music. She thought someone's playing radio. She thought someone's playing maybe records, etc. in those days. And she heard this. She heard chants. She heard spiritual chants. We were on the third floor. She heard some of Avasta prayers. We were on the third floor. And at the first floor, there was one Mr. Daruwala. And early morning, he would pray Avesta prayers. And very loudly on the third floor, we could hear him chanting Avesta prayers. Like Mir Baba, early morning, Mir Baba would get up and Mir Baba would recite munajats. If you know, Shariaji was one who wrote many munajats. And Baba would recite those munajats early morning. Apre in Gujarati, we say Bamdad. So in early morning, Mum thought that it was this Mr. Daruwala who's doing prayers. Effectively, it was none of this. Effectively, my mother had reached the first plane and she was experiencing through her ears and through her nose. So that is what we mean by the threshold of gross plane and subtle plane. So this is what happens to you when you are on the first plane. Now, let us go to the second plane. On second plane, second plane is, now you are on subtle plane. You have crossed the mental, you have crossed the gross plane, you are no more on the gross plane. On the second and the third plane, you are on subtle plane. Now, on the second plane, you do some small miracles. I'm not too happy using the term miracles, but let's call it, you experience and you do certain things. Now, what are these small things that you can do? You can start a train, you can stop a train or a car if you wish. You can turn a dry well into a well full of sweet water right up to the brim. You can turn a dead tree into a green blossoming tree with flowers, or vice versa. You can turn a green tree into a barren tree. But our mother, well, I don't know. Our mother did not fill up a well. She did not convert. She did not stop a train, etc. So she didn't do all these things. But this is it. So this is what you do on the second plane. So vis-a-vis our mother, I have nothing to share on this particular plane. So we go on to the third plane. On the third plane, you are again on the subtle plane. You are on the subtle plane. And on the third plane, you can do much more. On the third plane, you can give life to the dead, you can give eyesight to the blind, and you can cure a maimed person, you can cure broken bodies, etc., etc. This is what you do. Now let's come to raising the dead. I said you can even raise the dead and give sight to the blind. Now Jesus Christ did that. Meher Baba did that. Meher Baba did not give sight to the blind, but there's a story of Meher Baba raising the dead. I will not touch upon that now, but please remind me. I want to tell that story about Meher Baba raising the dead. Now, this is what Meher Baba and Jesus Christ did, though, but they were not on any of these planes. They were much, much beyond that. They were the avatars. They were the perfect ones. So how did the avatar or the perfect one did what others on the third and the fourth plane can do? Even on the fourth plane, you can raise the dead. So what they do is, what spiritually they have to do is, they have to lower themselves from whatever status they are, from the avataric level, to the third plane. So they station themselves from the third plane, I beg your pardon, from their level to the third plane for a short while. They do this job, namely raising the dead. And then once the job is done, they go back to wherever they are. So mother didn't do this, but what is it that she did and which qualifies my mother to be on the third plane? What she did was, now I'll try and explain to you what she did and we'll come back. When one day when she was meditating in our house, she saw herself. Normally you don't see yourself. She saw herself meditating. In other words, she saw herself with closed eyes and she being there. What I'm trying to suggest is that she had left her body and she was outside. Maybe she was a little frightened at this experience, but this was her starting point on the third plane. She saw herself outside her body. Then another day, my brother-in-law Manchi had a scooter. He still has a scooter with sidecar, and she would sit side straddle on the as a pillion, and Dinah, my sister, would sit in the sidecar. So my mom is watching herself. She's high, and she sees the scooter going forward on the road. She sees herself on the scooter on the road, but she's up there and she sees the scooter going on the road. So she had this kind of experience. She must have been frightened also, but this is what she experienced. Taking it forward, she once told me that after marriage, I moved to Bridge Candy. We live at Bridge Candy on Warden Road. And she once told me that, Jimmy, I come to your house, I visit your house. I see you and Firuza in the bedroom sleeping. I go to the children's room. I see Firoz and Parizat sleeping. So this is what she told me once, that I see you in your house. I come and visit your house. So Humyar Mystery once jokingly told me, Jimmy, be careful. She comes to your house anytime. Be very careful. She visits your bedroom, etc. So anyway, so she not only left house, she not only came on the road, but she went all around. To take you one step further, she would go to Mehrabad and Merazad. And she once told me that, Jimmy, we were at Mehrabad, and she once told me that, Jimmy, you will see this Mehrabad as a township. In those days, in the days of the 60s and the 70s, Mehrabad was a barren land. There were hardly a few trees here and there, some scrubs and some grass, that is it. Mehrabad was absolutely barren. And a few farmers' huts and maybe a few shacks, that is all there was. That is all there was. There were not much of houses also. The pilgrim center came in much, much later. We used to live in small cottages at Low Mehrabad. So this was the scene in those days. And that is when my mom said that, Jimmy, I will not be around, but you will see Mehrabad as a township. Well, it's growing. We see it as a township, but it will blossom much more into a township. So this is what Mama told us. And she also told me and us, Jimmy, Meher Baba is what he says he is. Never ever leave Meher Baba. Never leave his Daman. He is the avatar. He is the avatar. Don't ever leave him. And she also said that all your life, keep coming to Mehrabad, keep coming to Mehrazad. Don't leave Baba. Never leave Baba. And bring children, bring Firuza, and keep coming to Mehrabad all your life. So this is what we have been doing. So this is what I'm trying to suggest is that mom could not only travel, she could go backward and forward. She could go into the past, she could go into the future. But before going into the past and future, I would like to stop here, and I would like Sam to come in, and I would like Sam to tell what he discussed with my mother. Sam, are you on?
Yes, sir.
Please come in, Sam. I'll come back.
Okay. I used to meet Khorshid auntie at the center ever so often because she was a regular. I still distinctly remember she always wore white sari and stuff like that. And because she was a great friend of my kaka, I knew she's also very spiritually inclined, this, that, and the other. So I used to keep pestering her and asking her, Khorshid auntie, can you please tell me some of your experiences? Can you share something? Earlier, she would be very reluctant. And this thing went on and on and on until one fine day, she got fed up of this idiot coaxing her every time. So she said, look, I have to be in a mood to narrate all this. So if at all you want to listen to all this, you should be prepared to come down in 10-15 minutes flat after I phone you up. I said, sure. And I didn't make much of it and everything was forgotten. Until one fine day, the phone rings around 3:30 in the afternoon. I distinctly remember all this. And she said, Sam, Avija, come over. So I said, okay. She said, how long will it take you? I said, 10-15 minutes. She said, come fast. I'm making chai for you also. So come on over. So I rush over to her place and we sit down and we start talking. And the talk that it was amazing. It was what you call out of, what do we call it? Out of something experiences.
Out of the world experience.
No, not out of the world, out of body experiences. Out of body experiences. And then she went on to tell me, sitting here in this Tardeo building, I've traveled all over the world. I go to Paris, I go to London, I go this way, I go New York, this, that. So I kind of got a little extra smart, and I asked her, I said, Kaushal aunty, you've never stepped out of India or even further than Borivali, and how come you know all these places? She says, I connect them with their uh,
Landmarks.
landmarks, correct. Like Eiffel Tower is associated to Paris, then Trafalgar Square or something like that to London, this, that, and the other. And she said, I go around whenever I wish, I desire, whenever I want, I do that, and I come back. So I said, how does it happen? Do you fly? Do you? She says, no, nothing of that sort. I just get transported from one place to another, to another, to another. Then she told me something very, very nice. Another incident. That this is something which, when you do it with all your heart for Baba, how he accepts it and how he appreciates it. She told me that once during the Nowruz, Khorshid aunty had Baba's picture. Uske samne she put ravo and she said, "Ke Baba, please come and have the rava." And she told me, she said, Sam, believe me, when I say this, I saw Baba's hand come out from the picture, pick up the rava and eat it. And to prove that, there was that little bit of mark left on that plate where this much portion was missing. So these are the few things that I remember very well about Khorshid aunty. She never spoke much. No, she was not the one to do hoo-ha and all that. She was quiet. She had to be goaded into talking about all this because these things are not, they're not for commoners, or they're not for, it's something very private and you only share it with like-minded people. So that's how it was. And that's it, Jimmy. This is all I know about Khorshid aunty.
Okay. Continuing from where Sam left. Am I on? Yeah. Continuing from where Sam left, our mother would just open a chink if you asked her to say something. The way Sam pestered her. There is a, let me call it, there is a close-knit club. And as Sam rightly said, this is not something which you can talk to just anyone. For example, myself and my sisters, we were her biological children. And yet she would not sit across the table and talk to us the way we talk to each other. It's only when we ask Mama something, it's only when we asked her something that she would open a chink. She would just open a chink and let us know a bit. And that is it. Even Hossein Patel, Sam's kaka, told me that, Jimmy, this is not something which I would talk to Hossein uncle also after my mother passed on. And he said, this is Jimmy, this is not something that is to be talked. Even Baba had said that this is not something which is to be, in Parsi Gujarati se bar baat karwani. It's not to be done that way. And Sam rightly used the phrase like-minded. I would not say like-minded, much beyond that. Much beyond that, spiritually, you should be synced. You should be spiritually synced with that person for you to talk to that person. Otherwise, you can be laughed at, you can be ridiculed, and that goes against your spiritual growth. That is why mother was tight-lipped, Hossein Patel was tight-lipped. He was a very spiritually advanced soul, but he didn't tell me also. He didn't tell me also. I would ask him, I would pester him, but he wouldn't tell me also. And the greatest guilt of my life, which I'll take to my grave, I did not pester my mother enough. I did not pester my mother enough. That guilt haunts me so much, and I can't live with that guilt. There was one human being, who was in my house, who was one in, if I said 1 in a billion, because suppose at that time there were only 5 human beings who were on the plane that my mother was, then it makes 1 in a billion. And she was my mother. How much I miss asking her, pestering her, what she saw. She told us very little, and this is my guilt. So anyway, I'll move forward. So Sam told you about mother going around the globe. But what you need to know is that the spiritual persons, they don't only stick around the globe. They become interterrestrial, as we call. In the 60s and 70s, there was a movie called Time Machine by Jules Verne, in which in a machine a person sits and he goes into the past, he goes into the future. If you remember that movie of Jules Verne's Time Machine. And in today's time, what we hear as time traveler. Today in videos we see time travelers. They claim that they have gone into the past. They claim they have gone into the future. My mother did it. My mother did it herself, just sitting at home. And she went into the orbit. I say she went into the orbit. She went into the space. And my mother told Dinah once, not to me, that my mother went onto the moon. Now this is a bit too much to digest, but my mother went onto the moon. She told Dinah that she had walked on the moon. And there was no fibbing about it. There's no fibbing about it. She walked on the moon. So when the astronauts and the cosmonauts were walking on the moon, well, no cosmonaut has gone on the moon, but when the astronauts have gone on the moon, they're not the only one. But my mother was also not the only one. Millennia earlier, the rishis and the munis of India, they have traveled all over. They have gone much beyond the moon also. They've gone up to the Milky Way, and they have gone. There are no dimensions for these spiritually advanced souls. There are no hurdles. There are no dimensions. For them, it's all one. It's all, they can, at a flip, they can go anywhere. So they could go much beyond the moon also. My mother went into the past. My mother went into the future. So one day I asked her, Mom, when you say you've gone into the past, how past have you gone? How back have you gone? And it might astound you as it astounds me speaking it. She went up to the past avatars. Now this seems a little awkward even to talk, but this is what she did. And she went into the future. She saw the future also. I didn't ask much about the future because I was more interested into the past than the future. Now, something else will astound you, that if these rishis and munis and mom, if they could go extraterrestrial, the corollary is, if they can go without, they can also go within. And why not? If going out is not difficult, going in, how can going in be difficult? It's equal, it's a corollary. And Mom said, once she told me that, Jimmy, I've been within myself. She said, Jimmy, I've gone inside. Umarama andar bhi gaili chhu. And she said that, Jimmy, what you see outside, whatever you see outside, is also inside us. And I never doubted her, and I don't doubt her today also. Because why not? Logically speaking, it's like a mirror. It's like a mirror, there's a word. It's like a mirror image, kind of. What is outside has to be inside. She said, there are oceans and there are rivers and there are brooks and there are hills and there are mountains. And in a different sense, and in our DNAs and in our human cells. So she went within herself, all the corners of her human body, and she experienced that as well. So this is nothing new for them. They can do whatever they like. They are beyond hurdles. They are beyond hurdles. There are no barriers for them. They can do anything. And mom on third plane, she could do this. Give me a sec. Okay. Now, according to my understanding, mom went up to the third plane. I've read beyond third plane. I've gone reading the fourth plane also. Now let's come to the fourth plane. The fourth plane is also on subtle plane. I beg your pardon. Sorry. Like as I started off saying, the first plane is a threshold between the gross plane and the subtle plane. The fourth plane is a threshold between the subtle plane and the mental plane. So your one leg is in the subtle plane, your one leg is in the mental plane. On the fifth plane, you are totally in the mental plane. But let's come to the fourth plane. The most dangerous, the most slippery plane that one can be on. Baba said, it is the longest night. Baba said, I'm quoting God Speaks. He said, he's used the term between the devil and the deep. He used the term the darkest night or the longest night. It is the most slippery period of your spiritual life because the power that you have on the fourth plane, you can do anything. To give you an example, you can raise the dead, which you can also do on the third plane, but you can go much beyond. You can create worlds. You can not only create worlds, you can breathe life into new worlds. You can do that. Imagine the power you can have. But this, give me 1 second. Yeah, I said creating new worlds, breathing life, raising the dead, etc. Now, on this plane, on the fourth plane, the power that you will, the energy that is within you can do astounding things for you. Either way, the bad way or the good way. It's up to you. It's not totally up to you. I'll come to that. It's up to you in the sense, if you do anything wrong, if you do anything very bad, because there is so much of lust in you. When I use the word lust, please don't misunderstand me, don't misquote me. By lust, we don't mean the lust that you and I understand. By lust means craving, that wanting to do something because you're overflowing with energy. Baba has used the term energy. You're flowing with energy. There's so much of energy oozing within you and without you that you can do whatever you want. And if you do something wrong, you can go back as far as stone impressions. There is a misunderstanding among those who understand God Speaks that you become stone, you become vegetation, you don't become that. You don't become dust, you couldn't become a stone or a boulder. You have the impression of a stone, you have impression of a gas form, you have impression of a vegetation form. That is what it is. So God Speaks says that if you do something which is too bad for you, you go down to the stone level of impressions. On the other hand, if you do something good, now what is it that you can do? And there's a very good example given in God Speaks, which we have been hearing about, is that you can, if there's a man in the desert and is dying of thirst, you can go there with a jug of water, you can present yourself there, give water to this man who's dying in the desert, and disappear from the scene. And you come back to wherever you're stationed. You can do that. And this man doesn't know where that man left or where that man was. He never was there. It was only a soul that came and quenched his thirst. So you can do that much. So you can do a lot of good. And the other plus point of doing good is, if you do good, you're propelled on the fifth plane. Not only you are propelled on the fifth plane, you can jump the fifth plane and go directly onto the sixth plane. Wow. You can come to the sixth plane. So this is what the fourth plane can do. It can make you, it can break you. So you got to be very careful. Baba has devoted a lot of time, lot of energy on explaining the fourth plane, because this is one plane where you can destroy yourself or you can make yourself. Well, frankly, I don't know much about the fifth plane, so I won't talk about the fifth plane. I'll briefly talk about the sixth plane. The sixth plane of consciousness, also again on the mental plane, the fifth and the sixth on the mental plane. And here on the sixth plane, you see God everywhere. You see God everywhere. You see God in everything. You see God all around you. You see God within each one of you. That is what you experience. But you stop short. Now, what do I mean by you stop short? In the sense that you cannot say Ham Brahmastami. You cannot say Anal Haq. You cannot say I am God, because you are still a drop soul. Now, what do I mean when I say you are still a drop soul? You are a drop soul in the sense, originally when your journey started, you were a bubble moving on the ocean, and that bubble had a whim. And that whim asked the question, who am I? The moment that whim came, the moment the thought came, who am I? This bubble separated from the ocean, became a drop. And therefore, it is called the drop state. And your journey starts because you wanted the drop soul. You wanted the answer that who am I? So the drop soul starts the journey from the gaseous state to stone, metal, etc., vegetation, so on. So on the sixth plane, you still don't have the answer of who am I. The moment you cross the threshold from the sixth plane to the seventh plane, you suddenly realize that you are no more drop soul. You have become the ocean. You have merged with the ocean. You are no more drop soul. You automatically say, I am God. You automatically say, Ham Brahmastami. You say, Anal Haq. You are not your. You are infinity. There is no duality in you. You become one. Your journey ends there, and my talk ends here. Jai Baba. Thank you. Yeah, one thought. I would request everyone to please read this 5. It's not chapter 5. It starts from page 40. My edition is 55 edition. I think it's the very first edition. Up to the fourth plane, I can assure you, you will read it as a novel. Trust me, I'm telling you, from the first plane to the fourth plane, you will read it as fast as a novel. Now you know what is gross plane, what is subtle plane, what is mental plane. You know these 4 planes. Please open your God's face. Please read it. Trust me, you will enjoy it. Thank you.
Thank you, Jimmy. there is a request. Somebody wants to know if you can narrate please tell the story of Baba raising someone from the dead.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. I'm reading Lord Mayor, and there's this story of Karman Masi. What I forgot to tell you is that, when I told you that this is not something which you share with everyone, this is a closed club, and you only share with like-minded people or those who are on the same level. Karban Masi was a very elevated soul. Some of you may have read about her, some of you may not have read about her. But Baba said that Karban Masi is going to be my father in my next advent. Baba's next advent is going to be in Japan. And Baba categorically said this, it is recorded that Karban Masi is going to be my father in my next advent. So this was Karban Masi. My mom and Karban Masi, my mom and Hossein Patel would do gusgus, as we call in Parsi Gujarati. Karban Masi and mom would sit on the veranda of either Mobo's Hotel or Guru Prasad, and two of them for hours would talk about only Baba knows what. So this is it. So this was Karban Masi. And the story goes that Karban Masi had three sons. One of the sons was married to a Khorshid, and they had a son only child. They had a son called Mirwan S. Irani. And he died. In childhood, he was an infant. And the child died. The child was pronounced dead. Physically, he had stopped breathing. His heart had stopped. He had stopped breathing. So Karban Masi was into a shock. That was the only child her son had. They were all distraught. So Karban Masi puts this Merwan into her lap, and she begged of Mer Baba to take her away, but spare this child for her son's sake, for her daughter-in-law's sake. Baba, please take me. Baba, give life to this child, but you take me. What happened was, in a while, Merwan started moving. And it is further written that soul had already left the body. And please remind me about soul leaving the body, please. The soul had already left the body. And then how can someone be brought to life if the soul has left the body? What happened was another soul was replaced in this body, and that is how life was breathed again into this Merwan. So in this Merwan, who's no more now, he died a few years ago, there were two souls in his body. He was born in a different soul, and he lived a life in a different soul. Okay, so this is what Mer Baba did for Karban Masi. He would do anything for Karban Masi. He did this. Now coming back to the soul and the body, my mother would meditate. Now, what happens when you meditate? When you meditate, you are somewhere else. Your body is on the sofa, but you are not on the sofa. Your soul is hovering around all over, wherever the soul goes. But there has to be a link. There has to be a link between the body and the soul. And the link is the umbilical cord. The umbilical cord, as an infant in the womb has with the mother, similarly with the body and the soul, there is an umbilical cord. So what I'm trying to suggest is, when she was meditating, we would not touch her. If we touched her, she's gone. Because what happens when you touch the body, the umbilical cord breaks. Your body is without a soul. So that's it. So what we would do is, suppose we were ready for lunch, we would go into the hall and say, Mama chalo, Mama jamwa jiye, Mama utho. So that is when she would say hi, and she would come to the dining table for lunch. We would not touch her. So you do not touch a person, and when it has to be a high soul, that is more important. It has to be a high soul. That is it. One last small thing, it has nothing to do with the planes, but that souls would harass my mother at night. They would try to come and take her body, kind of get into the body. Those who have committed suicide, etc., I call them the lost souls, because they are lost souls. They are neither here nor there. They are in hibernation. They are lost souls. And they are looking for a body. So mother would get very disturbed at night, and she would make some noise like like a disturbed person at night. And we are in the bedroom, mom is sleeping in the hall. So immediately I and Firuza would wake up, or if Firuza wakes up, she would say, Jimmy, 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 mama is disturbed. So we would run to the hall, and I would shake mama and say, Mama, Mama, Mama utho, Mama korwaro, Mama korwaro. And Firuza would rub her, and this is how she would be disturbed by those lost souls. Okay, I'm through.
Thank you, Jamsetji. Thank you very much. Everybody is just stunned and
Sorry,
dumbfounded.
1 minute. Jai Baba. Jai
Yeah.
Baba.
Yes.
हाँ बोलिए.
I have a small, simple question. Sam uncle, Chini uncle.
हाँ जी
Jai Baba.
बोलिए.
Meher Krupa here.
हाँ बोलो.
One sir, uncle, one small question. If the person is on the fifth plane and experiencing such things, whether that person is aware of his status that he is on the fifth plane?
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. One most important point, I've written it, but I forgot to tell you that at all these stages that I talked about on the planes, you have a guru. Mer Krupa, Baba bless you for this point. This is a very valid point which I really wanted to share with you. On at all these levels, you have a guru. You have a guru, either a perfect master or not necessarily a perfect master, who puts a veil, as the 5 perfect masters had put veil before Meher Baba when he was in adolescent stage, etc. It was later that these 5 perfect masters gradually lifted the veil on Meher Baba. Similarly, when you are on the path, when you are on your journey, your master, without master, you can't go on 4th and 5th plane to begin with. So what your master does is, he puts a veil before you. When he puts a veil before you, I'm answering your question pointedly, that you are kind of not conscious of the powers that you wield, because if you did wield your powers negatively, you can go to hell. Literally, you can go to hell. So your guru protects you from you using your powers. So I hope I've answered my question. Your guru takes care of that. Your guru takes, maybe even if you're conscious, he will protect you from using your powers. My mother didn't know she was on the 3rd plane. I can assure you, she didn't know she was on any planes, but she knew that she had progressed. Yes. Yeah, anything more, please do ask. Or maybe someone can start some others.
Can I say?
Please.
Jimmy uncle, the way you had spoken just now, I will tell you the truth. When I was not even 13 years old, I was less than 13 years old, I lost my father. And I was quite stunned when my father he went away to God. I didn't know anything. And my only person who I could narrate whatever I wanted to was to my uncle. I didn't have anything else to say to my kaka. I just said, what am I going to do? My mother didn't know much, huh? She didn't know what to do, huh? And between both of us, we were living in a family house with this thing. But I just was really scared. Who will look after us and everything? And luckily, with all my great thoughts and everything, Baba looked after us and cared for us. And my cousin brothers just now even are caring and looking after me. Jai Baba. Thank you.
Jai Baba.
Jai Baba. There are a few people waiting with their questions. Can we call them in, please?
Please go ahead. Go ahead.
Rakesh. Rakesh.
Yes.
Yes.
Abobi auntie, please unmute your mic.
No, Pele,
Yes, she's come.
let the questioners come in, please. Hello, Rakesh.
Yes, Abobi auntie, please say.
I did.
I think she's not listening. Abobi auntie,
But I'm not listening. I'm not listening.
we can hear you. We can hear you.
Yeah. So what do you want me to do? I'm listening.
You had put your hand up. Okay, Rakesh Gupta.
Okay,
please
Jai
come
Baba.
in.
like
Jai
to
Baba,
meet
everyone. So I have two questions. One, when someone at the fourth plane does
Loudly.
something
Little
bad-
louder. I can't hear you. Little louder.
Okay, I have two questions. One is that
One at a
If-
time. I'll forget. One at a time.
one at a time. The first one, if someone at the fourth plane does something wrong, you said you can go back to back as having impressions of a stone. But is it also possible that someone just drops to the third plane and restarts from there?
God speaks doesn't talk about any plane. It says directly you descend to the stone level. There are no intermediaries explained in God speaks. It says you directly slump onto the stone impressions level. That's what it says. It doesn't talk about demotion. Flat tire, absolutely.
So technically, we all may have actually gone up to at some point of time to the fourth plane, and we are restarting from the. Technically, I'm saying. Not okay. The second question is that as someone is progressing, and as you said, that one has to have a guru. Without guru, the progress is not possible. So, is it also possible someone is on third or fourth? And he has a guru, but he's also a guru to someone at the lower plane, like second or third one, someone being on the fourth. He has a guru from a higher plane, and he himself is also a guru to someone lower down.
Yes, the answer is yes. You can and you do. But let me explain to you. I'm so happy you touched this point because I can explain to you at much higher level. Yeah, what you said is true, very true. If you're on the fourth plane, you can be a guru to someone at much lower level. The answer is yes. Now let me take you to Sai Baba, Upasni Maharaj, and Meher Baba. You must understand that those who go to Sai Baba for something spiritual, Sai Baba has said, go so many kilometers away at Sakori. There is another Sai called Upasni Maharaj. He will give you that. Trust me, this is what Sai Baba would say. If you want anything spiritual, I'm not there to give it to you. Sai Baba was for material things. In fact, next Thursday, I wanted to talk about this. I'll make it brief now. I'll take it forward in detail. So Sai Baba would send to Upasni Maharaj, and Upasni Maharaj, when Meher Baba came into his own, Upasni sent some of his own to Meher Baba, like Meramai sister Freni, Meramai's mother, and the others. They were sent to Baba. Upasni said, whatever I had to give you, I've given you. Now I have nothing else to give you. Mind you, a perfect master saying that Whatever I had to give you, I've given you. Beyond this, I have nothing to give you. Now you join Merwan. Upasni was in his 60s, late 60s or 70s. Merwan was in his early 20s. So Upasni sent his own to Merwan. Said, you join them, you join him, and he will take you now forward. Have I answered your question, Rakesh?
Yeah. I get it. Thank you, Jai Baba.
Anybody else with a question?
Ram Nori.
Okay, come in, Ram.
Yeah. Hi, Jimmy.
Hi, Jai Baba.
Yeah, this is actually regarding what he said about in the fourth plane. If you do something wrong, you go back to the Stone Age consciousness. So, so are we going back into the Stone Age to Stone in evolution? Because you do have to experience all the consciousness of because you have lost all your consciousness on the fourth plane for your bad deeds. So I interpreted that to be saying that again you're going back in the evolution to the stone. You have to start all over.
Yeah, absolutely. That is what God speaks.
Okay, that's what my interpretation. But somehow when you said it, so I don't know. I misinterpreted to be saying that no, we go back to only. So we do have to go back into in evolution to stone form.
Absolutely. No two ways about it. No two ways. You start do re mi, alpha beta.
Yeah.
Start from alpha beta.
Yeah, and just to say, in the fifth plane is associated with thoughts. So sixth is feelings and emotions, and the fifth plane is with thoughts. Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Yeah, but let me remind you once again that at all times I may have talked about gross plane and the subtle plane and the mental plane, but do not misunderstand. Please do not misunderstand with gross body.
Yeah.
Sthul Sharir. No, I'm telling everyone that don't misunderstand. You need your human body till the seventh plane.
Yeah.
Mostly you drop your body when you reach the seventh plane, but some do sustain their body on the seventh plane. That's besides the point. What I'm trying to say is you use your human body at all times. Human body is necessary. The moment you are dead, physically, the moment you are dead, your spiritual growth stops immediately.
Yeah.
You cannot grow spiritually when your body is not there. So in case of higher souls, they are given body very quickly.
Yeah.
The body is given very quickly so that your growth is not truncated.
Yeah.
You immediately move forward. That reminds me of a story of someone asking Mani Auntie that Mani, what happens when we die? What will happen when we die? Will we have to look for Meher Baba all over again? Will be a lost soul? What will it be when we come again? What will happen? So Mani didn't have the answer. So she goes to Baba. She says, Baba, I have this question. People are asking me, but I don't have the answer. So you'll have to tell me. And Baba says, what is the question? And Mani Auntie says that, Baba, what happens to a human body when it comes again? Will they have to search for you all over again? What will it be like? So Baba said, you begin from where you end.
Yeah.
This is what Baba said. Baba said, you begin from where you end. That means you won't have to, in other words, you don't have to search for me. I will already be there for you.
Yeah.
And I will go one step further and I say that to me, there have been Baba lovers who have been with Baba in physical form, not in one lifetime, but in 2 lifetimes. Maybe let's give you an example. If someone was a monthly member in the 40s and he or she died,
Yeah.
Baba would give life, Baba would breathe life into that soul again, and that soul comes back in human form with Meher Baba.
Yeah.
Either at Mehrabad, Merazat, Pune,
Wherever. Yeah.
wherever it is.
Yeah, got it. Yeah.
But he comes into Baba's orbit, either in the Mandli or outside the Mandli, whatever it is. But you are blessed to have two bodies concurrently enjoying Meher Baba.
Yeah.
It also has happened.
Okay, Delna, would you like to come in?
Jai Baba, Jai Baba. Sorry.
Who's this?
Sam Uncle, Meher Krupa. Hello.
हाँ जी, okay, बोलिए.
Jimmy Uncle, sorry, again going back to the previous question. Am I audible?
Yes, go ahead.
Go ahead.
So, by chance, if suppose the Guru is not in the form, he is not in his body, and as you said that the soul is not aware of the status, so how can that soul prevent himself from doing the bad deeds?
See, according to me, Guru's hasti, spiritual hasti, does not die with his physical body. As Meher Baba himself has said, my power will remain for another 100 years. In other words, for another 100 years, the perfect masters will not take over. His chalan will remain for another 100 years. So Meher Baba's chalan will remain for another 100 years. Similarly, spiritual masters, they may have dropped their body, but they have their spiritual hasti and they will protect the aspirant up to a certain number of years.
Thank you, Jai Baba.
Delna.
Ruchi is also there. Ruchi, Rakesh, just like you. Ruchi?
Yeah, Jai Baba.
Jai Baba, Ruchi.
Yeah, so I just wanted to ask Jimmy Uncle one thing. I understand.
Can you put Ruchi on the screen?
Yeah, I just started my video. Can you see me now?
Please.
Yes, okay. Jai Baba.
Yeah,
So I just wanted to ask that, Uncle, you have told about these planes of consciousness. These 7 planes, I understand, are the planes of consciousness which we undergo when we are in our gross body. So how is it that if we reach a 4th plane and if we do something wrong, why would we fall back to the stone? We should fall back ideally to the 1st plane, right?
Yeah.
Because that is the stages which we go through in the gross body.
Yes. Rakesh raised the same point 5 minutes earlier, saying that why not on the 3rd plane? Why go to the Stone Age? Now, please understand that I am Mr. Nobody. Let me be very honest.
Okay.
Very honest, I am Mr. Nobody. I just read and I speak. I'm a storyteller. Basically, I'm a storyteller. I just tell stories. So I don't have that divinity. You want to understand God's tricks. Let's put it that way. Now, I relate to you what I read. And this is what I read, that you go to the stone stage of consciousness. So I'm sorry, I don't have this answer. Why not 1st plane? Why not start from the 1st plane? Why not 3rd plane? Why demote so to Montessori? Why demote to Montessori? You should be demoted from 5th to 4th. Why straight away go to the 1st? So this is
no, actually I said because you said no, that Mani Aunty said that you start from where you had stopped your journey. So that's why I just thought.
Yeah, sorry, there's a conflict here.
Okay.
Suppose me or you, right? Now, I won't say you, let's say me. Suppose I die, okay? And I'm reborn. Now, if and when I'm reborn, will I be looking for Meher Baba all over again? Will I be a lost soul? Will I know nothing about Meher Baba? Will I know nothing about divinity? So Baba explains that you begin from where you end. So spiritually, we are not talking about planes. Baba did not talk about planes. He just said your status, whatever your status may be. If you're a good soul, you're a good soul. You begin from there. So these are 2 different aspects.
Okay. Thank you, Uncle. Jai Baba.
Jai Baba.
Okay. For the 15th time, Delna, please come in.
Rakesh, wait, I'll put Delna in.
If she's not
Wait.
there, I can come in.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
Come in.
Let Rakesh finish his question with Jimmy Uncle.
Okay. Sorry.
Okay, very quickly, just continuing with the last speaker. I mean, without reading the God Speaks, I've not read it. I just thought that I want to bring in that could it be possible that it's only the sanskaras which are reset? Means, let's say somebody starts with 700 tons of sanskaric load. And if you fail at the fourth plane, your load is reset at 700 tons. You begin from zero, but you spiritually advance still, and you catapult through your journey, and you actually come back to the plane in 1 or 2 lifetimes. Just a thought.
Let me split it into two. Your number of sanskaras, according to me, does not change. If you say 700 tons, according to me, it remains 700 tons. That does not change. The answer is yes.
But you're using up your sanskaras as you're advancing. You're reducing the load. Otherwise, what's the point of a lifetime if you're not reduced your load?
No. You said that if you're on the fourth plane,
Yeah.
and if you have the, did I understand you correctly? I thought you said that if you're on the fourth plane and you have a baggage.
You go to stone, that means your sanskaric load is 700 tons. Now you begin from where the whole thing started, which was the very beginning. But with this load, you can actually clear up the load in 1 or 2 lifetimes. Earlier, it might have taken you millions or thousands. But now, with such spiritual advancement, you are what you are. I mean, you are an advanced soul. You remain an advanced soul, but you have to work out your sanskaras through whatever time, next 2 or 3 lifetimes. Because, the other people, the higher up beings, they also find use in you. They want you back to be doing their work. They can't be just telling you, okay, go get lost. And now you are one of the, just like the innumerable souls who have to go through reincarnation for millions and millions of times. If somebody has reached up to fourth plane, he is such a useful, you can say, not in the whole scheme of things. They can't be just left alone like that. I mean, they will give them 1 or 2 lifetimes, but they have to really work hard. I mean, they have to make up and, do penance for the mistakes they made at this plane, but they will actually come back very fast, back up. This is just a thought. I don't know. I've not read God Speak or anything.
Okay. I do not have a very dedicated answer to this, but here the guru comes in. Here the guru comes in, and a guru of a very high stature can do anything to you. I repeat, a guru of very high order can propel you from anywhere to anywhere. This is their spiritual authority. This is their spiritual conditioning. This is their spiritual strength. They can do it within same lifetime. They can propel you from stone to once again the fourth plane.
Absolutely correct.
So I don't deny the fact. It's a good analysis from you. I didn't think it in these terms, but it's possible. The answer is yes, it is possible. You can be propelled. I use the word propelled.
Right. Thank you so much. Jai Baba.
Jai Baba.
Anybody else? Okay, Delna, all yours, darling.
Jai Baba.
Jai Baba.
Thank you, Jimmy Uncle, for sharing. It was beautiful listening to your mom's entire experience and journey. I wanted to share something very small and quick. I don't know if you have too much time, but since Ria was, on a track tube, she never had a voice. Can you hear me?
Yeah, of course.
So Ria really didn't have a voice, even though, she was old enough, and the voice always was really very faint. And in the hospital, she only spoke through, a little sign language of calling me and all of that. And this happened for over 15 months, which I never realized. But one of the days, I think we were doing a Baba gathering at my place, and we were watching a movie. And as we sat down to watch the movie, my son was sitting with me, and he watched Baba's hand gestures and his actions. And he turned around and he said, "Mama, Baba talks exactly like Ria." So, so I said, no, Ria talks. And that's when I realized that Ria, to call me in the hospital because she was on a track tube and, ventilated. So her only way to call anybody, whether it was a nurse, doctor, or me, or her nurses, she would clap. So she used the same sign, the same hand gestures that Baba did. And there was one time where I had to meet this new doctor in Abu Dhabi. And Jamshed got very upset with that doctor because the first time when he met him, he said that, you should take Ria to the deaf and dumb school and let her learn the sign language because, you all are parents and you all understand the way she speaks. But what about the rest of the people? And once she starts going to school, it's going to be very tough. So Jamshed was very disappointed with his whole thing. And I always told Jamshed, I said, no, don't be so disheartened. I said, he's a doctor. He's probably, only thinking for Ria's betterment. But why are you worried? We understand her. There are so many people, women who come for the Baba gathering and other friends and families. They understand what she says. Some struggle, but they do get it, And then when Ria was going through her last surgeries in Abu Dhabi, Ali uncle, Ali Ramju, happened to be in Dubai at that time. And it was a very beautiful experience because he was in Dubai, I was in Abu Dhabi, and he was not supposed to come to Abu Dhabi. And I was so hoping, because I've heard so much about him. So I said, I hope he comes. And he did come, but he was not supposed to stay. So then there was no way for me to meet him. And the person whose house, who knew them, he said, I will try and ask uncle to, they call him daddy. So he said, I will ask daddy if he will stay back. And if he does, then you can come and meet him. And they came, while they went out for dinner, they're taking him out with his kids and all for dinner. And he started telling him, यहाँ पे एक लड़की है, उसकी बेटी का surgery है, and they believe in, she believes in Meher Baba. They have gatherings in her house and all of that. And he heard all of Ria's story, and then he said, I would like to meet the mother. So Imran called me up and said, Dana, will you be able to come around 10 o'clock? Daddy wants to meet you. I said, yeah, definitely, and all. And I went to their place to meet Ali uncle, and he gifted me God Speaks. This is the third time I got God Speaks. Every time I got God Speaks, I gave it to another person, saying it's not my time. Maybe when I turn 60, I'll read it. It's too heavy. So when he gave it to me, I took it as a sign that Baba really wants me to read this book. So he gave me the book and he said, "Beta, don't worry, she'll be fine," and all of that. When I saw him, I really was very tempted to tell him, please come to the hospital and, just see Ria, like a form of blessing or something. But when I saw him and he was so old, walking with a stick, I said, you know what, I didn't even utter those words. And he himself told Imran that if I get up early, I want to go to the hospital to see the baby. And in Abu Dhabi, they are very, very strict. They don't allow anyone, I think, in the PICU besides the parents, to come in. And he came in sharp at 10 o'clock. He saw Ria and he just said, just take good care of her. And he gave me a, like a side hug. And he was probably, I think, 80 or something, pretty old. But the hug that he gave, same like, Bauji, when Bauji held my hand, it was so strong, like it couldn't be a frail old person. It was like a very young, dynamic person. And the whole thing is, when I was sitting in that hospital, I was reading the starting of God Speaks. And I always was, once Dr. Nizar told me about, going to the deaf and dumb school, I was thinking, am I doing it wrong? Am I doing it right? Am I being emotional as a mother? And then I read that part and it said, Baba never used the sign language from the deaf and dumb school. He incorporated his own sign language. And that kind of, I resonated and I said, Ria doesn't need to go to any school for any sign language. People will understand what she says. And I think there are so many from, who have met Ria and they used to understand every sign that she said. So her thing to call would be clapping, and to say that she loves you, she would do this on her own. I never taught her. And for Mo, she did this. And I think Baba did this as well for Mo.
I should think so.
Yeah. So these were her own sign languages that she spoke. So I just wanted to share this part of Leah's whole journey.
Thank you very much, Delna. Thanks a lot.
Okay, one sec. For those who came in late, I want to show mom's photo once again.
Raise it higher, Jimmy. They can't see. Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, folks, it's almost time now. Coming to 6:30. So should we call it a day or carry on? That is question number 1. Question number 2. How are we all set for tomorrow? Are we going to try? Are we going to give it a sincere effort? Failing is not in our hands. I mean, we may fail, break our silence here, there, and everywhere. That's okay. But you immediately say sorry, Baba, Jai Baba, whatever, and carry on again, remaining silent. So that's the way things are. Now, since we have today gone into Jimmy Khan's, thanks to his mother's insights. Perhaps if we get chance next Thursday, I would like to touch upon the topic of Meher Baba after having dropped his body, and his body was being kept for 7 days. So what is the link? Where is the connection? We can discuss all that next Thursday, time permitting. If Jimmy has something better to talk about, we'll definitely listen to our Mr. Khan. Is that all right, sir?
One of the Thursdays, I would like to talk about the 7 days that when Baba's body was in the crate. I was one of those very, very few who were present there. So I can talk about 7 days.
Okay. Right. Anybody else wants to share anything, sir? Madam, anybody? Mayor Krupa Palve. Yes, go on. Okay. She says bye-bye.
मैं दारू वाला छोटा है.
Okay, दारू वाला बोलो.
Sam uncle.
Ji.
Today morning we had to go to Mehrabad.
Sorry?
We have to go to Mehrabad.
Sam, may I answer her, Sam?
Yeah, please do.
Aaj 9 तारीख है.
Listen, Mayor, normally I don't stop the bus beyond 6:05. Today, in spite of all the shouting from the back, I waited at Bhatia Hospital up to 6:20. Where were you?
I was waiting.
Waiting?
I was waiting.
Where were you?
At Dadar.
Dadar? We never go to Dadar. We go via...
Mrs. Daruwala.
Jai Baba.
Mrs. Daruwala, I know your name is Daruwala, but sometimes you get even more tipsy just by the name here. Jai Baba.
Jai Baba.
Okay.
Sam uncle, Jimmy uncle, Jai Baba, Anaita here.
Anaita auntie, bolo.
Can you all just give some tips or can you all share something about how we should go about our day tomorrow?
Very simple. Don't talk. It is. Don't laugh. I sincerely mean it. See, in the olden days, very many years ago, we used to sit around together. We used to go to Mehrabad. We used to live at Dharamshala, and we would stay awake till 12 midnight, do some prayer, aarti, and then everybody would disperse and say, "Chalo, now we start our silence," and then we go to sleep. Go to sleep means 7-8 hours gone there already. And then when you wake up, you just start doing your thing, and because nobody is talking, you also don't talk, and that's how it goes. The difficult part is now that we are here in Mumbai with your family and all that, that is the difficult part. What you have to do is, number one, ask for his help. Number one, ask for his help. And if you ask for his help, you shall not be denied. That's for sure. That's for sure. So just, and even if you falter, it doesn't matter. Just pick it up from there on and carry on. It's no big deal. And believe you me, I keep saying this. After finishing this 24 hours ka silence, the next day, that is on the 11th, I really don't feel like talking, because the logic is, if I could manage for 24 hours with my mouth shut, why do I have to keep doing all this bug all the time? You see? And this silence is so profound. It's so beautiful. It is so profound. It gives you the chance to go within your heart. Go within you. And you don't have to segregate yourself or nothing. Just do your regular things, but try to keep your mind focused on Baba. That's all. Yeah.
Thank you.
Sam,
Jai
Sam,
Baba.
I had the experience of doing my silence for 30 hours with an international flight.
Yes, you told us so. Yeah.
Covering 3 countries and ending in Mumbai. And it was, Baba challenged me. Baba threw a challenge at me. He wanted to see to it that I break my silence. And my wife calls me stubborn mule for nothing, because I am a stubborn mule. I took up the challenge and I didn't speak. It's a nice story, very nice story.
If you can narrate it very briefly, because Anaita is also a hostess, she'd be happy to hear the story.
Okay, I'll make it very quick.
Yeah.
It was 2005, and on the 9th July night, we were in Malaysia. From Malaysia by train, we came to Singapore. From Singapore, we took a flight. A few things happened in the train. I will not talk about it. But at Singapore airport, we are at the gate. And the only thing I had to do was, and there was an announcement that please proceed to the aircraft. And I was very close to the gate. All I had to do was take out the gate pass, show it, and get in the aircraft. Simple as that. But Baba had something up his sleeve, and I take out few papers. I normally keep a Baba's photo on my top pocket and my calling card, visiting card. So these 2 things I keep in my top pocket. So I remove papers from the top pocket. That stub is not there. I go to my right pocket, to my left pocket, to my hip pocket. I was not wearing a jacket. It's not there. The stub is not there. How do I get in? Stub is not there. And I'm looking second time, third time. I said, I couldn't speak naturally. I said, Baba, enough. Okay, enough masti now. Come on now. Enough. Okay, come on now. Let's get with it. So I'm looking for one more time, because I said, Baba, please, now don't, please. Not here, Baba, not here. I'm catching an international flight. So gradually, everybody walks into the plane. Then my son is with me, and my wife and my daughter. My wife gave me such a dirty look. Somebody like saying, idiot that you are. And she walked into the plane. My daughter gave me a dirty look. She went into the plane. My son and me, the hall is empty now. The son got very agitated. He said, Dad, you'll have to speak now. He blurted out, Dad, you'll have to speak now. So I'm saying, go there and get duplicate boarding pass. He didn't understand, but I said, go to the counter. There were two ladies at the counter. So he goes there. He comes back after a while and he says, Dad, it's C6. C6. He doesn't bring a stub, doesn't bring anything. He just says C6. So he walks inside. He shows his stub and he goes inside. My turn, and I'm silent and without a stub. So Baba. And I just walk into the plane and I'm on C6. I said, I didn't break my silence, Baba. I didn't break my silence. Now I'm the king. I'm going to land at Bombay. I'm in India. Deal done. Okay, Baba said, not yet, not yet. You wait, not yet. So checking with customs, checking with immigration, etc., etc. I did all that. I'm with a trolley. Firuza is with one trolley. Firoz is with one trolley. Farizad is with the fourth trolley. And I can see the green channel. I can see the green channel. I'm the king. And as I'm walking, there were two customs officers. One of them walks in front of my trolley and stands there. He stands here. He looks at the stub on my bag and he says, what's your name? In the meantime, my kids and my wife have walked a little further and he's asking me my name. He's trying to see if I'm carrying somebody else's bag, if I'm smuggling somebody else's bag. I'm with my wife, I'm with my two children, I'm well dressed, and he thinks that I'm picking up somebody else's suitcase. So she turns around, Firuza turns around and says, tell him my name. But she doesn't know what I'm trying to tell her. And the custom officer looks at Firuza, he looks at me, and maybe he realizes I'm a dumb guy, and he says, okay, go. So I go home. And I'm like, Baba, I didn't speak. I said, Baba, I didn't speak. So for once, Baba threw a challenge at me, 30 hours, 3 countries, I didn't speak. So that's the story.
Thank you, Jamshedji.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot. Okay, folks, I think we shall call it a night now. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Jai Baba. Jai
Thank you. Jai Baba.
And happy Silence Day tomorrow.
Amrita, Jai Baba.
Jai Baba.
Jai Baba. Thank
Jai
you.
Mer Baba.
Pia,
Jai
Dana,
Baba.
Beru,
Thank you so much.
Kunda.
Thank you.
Baba.
Jai Baba.
Jai Baba.
Jai Baba,
Jai
everyone.
Baba.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for today.
Thank you.
Baba, thank you.